In these problems, we are filling in blanks on a kind of number line, and the blanks include both fractions and percentages for the same values. And you'll notice our number line starts at 0 and goes up to 1, so this gives us the fractions in between. So I think the first step is to make sure we know what fractions these are, and one way to do that is to count the spaces, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So between 0 and 1, it's been split into 4 spaces. You probably could have figured that out by seeing the denominator here in 3/4. And they call these benchmark fractions or benchmark percentages because they're the common ones that pop up again and again, and it's good to kind of get them memorized. So I think filling in the fraction part is probably pretty easy. These are fourths. This is our first one, so this is 1/4. And then you have 2/4, which normally we'd simplify to 1/2, but we won't here. And then 3/4, and then this would be 4/4 or 1. And then what are the percentages for these? Well, we have one of them filled in already, the 75%. Well, we also have 0 and 100%. 1 is always 100%. But what about 1/4 and 2/4? I think the easiest way to remember this, if you're not sure, is about quarters and a dollar. 1/4 of a dollar is 25 cents. That's 25%. So 1/4 is 25%. Once you know that 1/4 is 25%, well, 2/4 would be double that, so that's 50. 50 cents is 2/4, and 3/4 is 75 cents, or 3/4 is 75%. So those are the fourths. Let's look at the fifths. So this one is divided into fifths. I see the 5 as a denominator here, and if I count the spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces between 0 and 1. The way the fifths work, well, we can label the fractions here, so 1/5 and then 2/5. 3/5 is in already, and I guess we don't have to label 4/5, but I'm going to put it there anyway. The percentages on fifths, fifths are twice as big as tenths. So each fifth is 20%. So the first fifth is 20%. The second fifth is going to be 40%. And we don't have a blank here, but I'm just writing that in, 40%. The third fifth is another 20, so that's 60%. And then 4/5 is 80%, so this is all working out. All right, so those are the fifths. And here we have the tenths. And for me, this one is pretty easy to remember because you have, 100 divided into chunks, 10 different chunks. Each one of those chunks is going to be 10 because 10 times 10 is 100. So every single tenth is 10%. So we don't have to, there are only a few boxes to fill in, but I'm just going to write them all in. Let's write the fractions first. So after 0 will become just 1/10, and then 2/10, and then 3/10, and then 4/10. And you can see 4/10 matches up with 40%. So actually we can stop a minute. 3/10 then would be, 30%. And we've got 5/10 and 6/10 and 7/10 and 8/10 and 9/10. So what's the percentage then for 9/10? Yeah, you guessed it, it's 90%. So each tenth is another 10%. So that's a little bit of work with filling in number lines for these benchmark fractions.